Video.
Yep.
Hey, there you are.
What's up, Shonie?
I'm not making any more adjustments. I'm gonna leave it as is.
Do it, man. You look. Hey, for those you don't know, that's Shonie Carter. Great guy, great fighter, just great, man. It's great to have you here.
Stop making me blush.
Yeah, doesn't need any introduction. I mean, I think everybody knows who he is and his credentials. There's so many, I can't list them all.
I've always giggled about that. I remember years ago, Bob Shermer, I was training with him, and one day he wrote down his resume of his accomplishments. And he handed it to me. I'm like, you're Master Bob to me. And then, then I started reading pages. I'm like, okay, you're a tough guy. I get it. we had that father-son sarcastic relationship all the time. Now, looking backwards, moving forwards, here I am. So I actually did that one day because I'm trying to do the movie thing, and you got to have a resume and credentials. Oh my God. I was laughing at the stuff because it took me like a whole morning to sit down, and like a day basically, to write down. I was so meticulously tedious. Tony, you're not going to believe this. Joe, you're not going to believe this. Nico, you're not going to believe this. I remembered all the way back to high school. And as I wrote all this stuff down, then of course, I had somebody else type it out because I'm old school, pen and paper, not stylus and tablet. And I'm like, do y'all really need this much crap? Really? So now here I am with you guys. I got to add a line to my resume. Thank you.
There you got to do it. We were just talking about that old school stuff, how I'm like, and I like to, well, my handwriting sucks now, but I like to write things out. It's hard for me to do this typing and tablet, forget it. That's, I can't handle that, but I got it.
Ties the brain with the body with the brain. And that's why a lot of the new kids, they don't know how to write cursive.
Yeah.
In my opinion, they're not that damn smart. They're technologically there, but not that smart. And it's a huge difference. Life smart.
Yeah, I've read some things about the technology and the social media and all of that can contribute to attention deficit disorder and lack of focus, which I feel that way when I'm, scrolling on my tablet or the phone or social media. I have a hard time focusing as well. So I definitely believe that.
Yeah, it's really interesting that how things are morphed in our society, whether it's what we're talking about or MMA. And I giggle, and I'm starting to enter that age where I feel like the old Fu Manchu guy with the long beard doing like this. Yes, Daniel. Wait a minute, hold up. Wait a minute, I got something for you. There we go.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes, grasshopper.
That's funny. Yeah, I gotta interject here because when you were talking about resumes, so there's this is a true story. So I guess back in the 60s, they had this pool tournament. Now there was a guy named Don Willis. He was the original Cincinnati kid, even though he was from Canton, Ohio, but he was considered like the greatest unknown pool player, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so they got this tournament, and the one guy was Irving Crane, he had to write his resume, 5-time world champion or whatever. The other guy, 3-time world 8-ball champion. Another guy, 4-time world, whatever. All these championships everybody's listing. And when he came to Don Willis, he didn't have anything because he hustled. He didn't play in these tournaments. So the director of the tournament says, well, you got to put something down. So he put the truth. He wrote down, see all these world champions? I beat all of them. And that was his resume. I beat all these world champs. But yeah, I've seen people's resumes, like for business, nothing to do with sports. It's like, man, I don't think I could ever write a resume. So I got to give you credit, Shonie, man, for being able to pull it off.
It was just horrible because I've been doing job hunting and things like that, and people ask me for resume. One of the first times, okay, is Indeed and all these career builders, the websites. I got to plug off. So I didn't really know how to write a job resume. Tony, you've known me for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And you know what I've been doing.
Uh-huh.
My last jobs, like outside of fitness and fighting, I worked at Radio Shack. Y'all remember that?
It's gone, yeah.
I worked for Media One Cable. That was starting to tiptoe into my fight years where I was doing underground fights at the Tropicana de Cache.
Mm-hmm.
I would be a cable man during the day. On my lunch break, I would go train with Master Bob. Then I would eat pizza across the street and then go right back to it. So it was a Media One cable van, always in front of school. And so the family would, after a while, I would come in so much eating pizza, a slice of pepperoni pizza. I basically damn near paid their light bill. So literally, I thought it was cool, so I gave them a hookup on free cable when you could do that. And so I was always eating there, and then I would train on lunch breaks and go back to work. And now with resumes and online stuff, it was alien to me. And I would go to job interviews, and it was like, my dad was like, quit dressing like a pimp, or you look like a mafia enforcer. I'm like, I don't know how to dress for a job interview. Excuse me. So my friends would try to help me. My corporate friends, IT and all that. So I did the best I could type. I gave it to one of my students. It was a picture. It was a copy of a 3-page. Okay, let me explain this right. I took a picture of my resume on my phone. Then I went to Kinko's and printed out the picture of my resume. And you can obviously tell it was a photo of my resume. And so all the guys in the gym are like, please tell me you have not sent this out. I said, well, I've sent out about 1,000 of them. They were like, really? I said, well, yeah, I keep getting job interviews. They're like, what? I'm getting job interviews. With this resume, I'm like, I now know it's supposed to be 1 page. 3-page resumes. I don't know what's relevant to whatever job I get. Everybody was just shaking their head and laughing. People in the gym were laughing. I'm like, hey, if you want to help me out, help me out. But what ifs? Because I've got a pile of job offers in my email, which I hate now because email is like the new mail, and I hate all of it because what is my email? I just cleared. Oh, I'm down to 130.
Jesus.
Yeah. That was, 131. One just popped up. Ugh. Could you imagine 131 pieces of mail in your mailbox?
No.
Good grief.
Shonie, what was it like at the underground fights? I've never experienced that. I think most of us have never been to one.
Oh my God. Okay, because people think. Remember, before the sanctioning and all the visibility, you would have these fights. And okay, the one I knew about was in, like I said, the Tropicana de Cache. It was on Armitage and Milwaukee. So I would show up after being a cable man all day, going to combat do jujitsu late at night because the things and it was so annoying because you could party on a Tuesday, salsa dancing on Tuesday, and most people, most of the bros back then did when they were not up on the salsa scene. I'm that I'm that I'm the groundbreaker. If you do not know about the salsa scene, you are really strutting yourself on life. Those Latinas out there, they are working it fast. They will put on something that barely covers it up, and they letting you know what the good Lord gave them from their mama and daddy, and they are out there doing it. And you ain't got to have, you don't have to have game. You just walk in and just look like you almost like the prey. They will come up to you and ask you to dance or get you. They not even ask. They'll snatch you by the wrist on the dance floor, dancing like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I'm dancing upstairs on the second floor, overlooking the ring. Overlooking the ring, they had a balcony with a dance floor. It was a wraparound dance floor. The DJ's on the stage behind the ring, and anybody from Sammy Sosa to Robert Kelly, Vanessa Williams, Sammy Sosa, the old rap group, what was that, Crucial Conflict, Peter Weller from the Great White Hype. Um, it just goes on and on. So you hear the little, that generic. There's a generic siren there. Every club has with the little red light.
Yeah.
Beep, beep. And then I would leave the dance floor regrettably because I'm trying to see if I can have a love affair with all of them. It was ridiculous. My favorite holiday is not Christmas. That's expensive. Puerto Rican Pride Week. Beñera de Beñera. Dia de Muerta. Man, what? Latinos do it big. Don't ever let me get down to Brazil. I'm going to have 9 kids 9 months from now. I know. So I go to the dressing room, and of course, sometimes I wouldn't actually put on my fight clothes because sometimes I would be a dry night where people just knew I whooped that ass. But they would come and tell me, Sean, you got 3. I'm like, all right. What do they say, Poppy? Hey, or no, when the guys can, hey, cabron, get aquí. I'm like, why? You what was Chalo? How would they say it? Or Calvin? My Spanish is horrible now because I have not used it, and I only knew a little bit at that time. So I go down to the ring. Sometimes the balcony, just like I said, right over the ring on the dance floor. I could actually jump from no bullshit. Can't make this up. I would jump over the balcony and stick the landing into the ring. It was an elevated ring, of course, but it was 8 feet, 10 feet, no big. And that's my grand entrance. Or I'd come down the stairs, and man, oh man, we had ring girls, no bullshit. Unfortunately, one of them died. Named Katarina, and she was okay. Can't make this up. She was an Assyrian badass chick. I mean, she was finer than the hair on a turtle shell. She was Assyrian in a Mexican nightclub. You can't even make this shit up. There was the black chick Brenda. She was crazier than squirrel shit, nutty as hell. And then there was who's that white girl? I forget her name. The other one. But she was girl next door cute. So you had 3 of them. And oh my, no, it was 4. I can never forget Melina. Melina was the first woman. She should be the grandmother of twerking because this is before twerking was called twerking. And even to this day, I don't think chicks could do what she do. Even that girl Nastia on Instagram got millions of followers. All she does is shake her ass. But Melina could vibrato Maximus her butt cheeks. Pop and clap and all that. No, Melina looked like somebody like took an electrical extension cord, cut the head off, and stuck it on her ass, and it was like, whoa. But and then she would do the typical shake it fast thing. But then anybody, and it was an extreme risk for me upon further reflection years down in the future talking to y'all, because Tony Cecchine never heard about this. Thank God. So, there were guys coming from everywhere. And there was a bounty on my head for $5,000. Now, yes, these kids are making a lot more money now. But even by today's standards and in our economy, you would take a risk at a $5,000 chance to whoop my ass. Anybody would, especially some young up and coming punk or Brigidja, I call it Brigidja, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I laugh because like I said, they would tell me if I had 2 or 3 fights or the craziest night, and I got to collect footage back from these people. I did 6 fights going on 7 in one night, never leaving the ring. And I always laugh about it because I did it just because I was paying my daughter's private school tuition. And it wasn't like I was getting $6,000 winning. They were pimping me. And I just wanted to practice what I learned. Tony, you realize when you had trained me and was showing me stuff, I was using that stuff. I was testing your venom out on. And when Bob Sherman showed me stuff, I tested it out to see if this was real. Because that's how I got into the whole fight. It was the mysterious question about the black belt. And as you and I both know, just because somebody has a black belt, that don't mean shit a lot of times. Because there are people who have black belts or brown belts, or I do this and I do that, and I can pin Godzilla, I can pour scope down King Kong's mouth.
It's all bullshit. Yeah, we've been there.
Oh my God. I have heard even MMA fighters, actual UFC fighters. And I'll tell you, when one of the years they had Chael Sonnen, and I ain't hating on Chael, God bless him. When we all first heard about him, talking about the mean streets of Oregon, considering where we from.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. They got rough parts in Oregon? Fuck out of here. And so one day I was at the United Center, and he was on his pulpit doing what Chael does. And I walked up, I didn't grandstand or nothing. I'm actually being modest mouse. I walked up and patted him on the back. Hey, Chael. Oh, hey, Sean, Mr. International. What's good? Oh, yeah. I said, all right, well, you carry on, young man. I got to go get me a pizza and a Pepsi. And I literally was going to get like some pizza and a Pepsi. And people were like, they look at him like, and I'm like, wow, you selling that, you pitching that horse shit in Chicago. You talking about how tough you are in the mean streets of Oregon in Chicago. I laughed. I've laughed at the stuff what Conor McGregor says, or when these kids in MMA, the biggest ones I've laughed about and George St. Pierre is my homie. When he said he was homeless for a while, when Conor said he was homeless, Ronda Rousey said she was homeless and sleeping in the back of their cars. And I'm like, your mama's name is Dr. Anna Maria DeMars. Dr. Dr. Anna Maria de Mars. And you want this? George St. Pierre. I saw your parents' crib, upper middle class, nice house in Canada. Mom looked sweet. She was making him something to eat that day, and he was talking about. And I saw the documentary on a flight to Canada. Ironic. They said Connor was homeless. I don't know the whole story, but you have one of the greatest stories to go from start from the bottom right to the top. If you were homeless and you making $150 million being in the ring with Floyd Mayweather. When what's her name? Paige Van Zant said she was sexually molested. And I'm not gonna go down that route. But when she said she had a rough upcoming, bringing of life. When all these fighters sit there and sing that sad sob story, even Terry Martin, when Harry McGinnis from Triton College told me Terry was the first to go to college and all this stuff. I say, sing that song to somebody else. I've heard that shit. When he got shot 5 times at point blank range with a 357. And I said, Harry McGinnis, I love you. Then I walked into the locker room and he was like, we had already had some words, Terry and I. We cool. But that time I turned around and I started counting bullet holes. And I was in the Marines, so I'm counting slug marks. I said, hey, punk motherfucker, I only see 4. I only see 4. The story is told you got hit 5. He grabbed my wrist. He was a 190 pounder. He grabbed my wrist. Before I could arm drag him, he took my finger and made me touch his butt cheek. And literally, there's a slug to this day in Terry Martin's ass.
Wow.
Now, wow. So he's the only story I can validate. But these new kids, they come up with these magnificent stories. And I'm like, most of y'all came up in Central Air with your name on the heavy bag, talking about you on the cover of Rain magazine, and you can be the man.
So, Shonie, were you born in Chicago?
Born and raised. Illinois Research, 5:37 p.m. I think I was 7 pounds, 6 ounces. I think. Yeah. It's crazy.
What part of Chicago did you grow up in?
I grew up on the west side. I also lived in Maywood because I wrestled at Proviso East. And I spent most of my formidable years on the west side, K-Town, Tony's favorite spot to go hang out, the tourist spot. Tony, I'll take you there sometime. It's great. Great.
My dad had some apartment buildings in K-Town. It's
you
really
know
rough.
You know about the wonderful touristy spot of K-Town. We'll take all of the new viewers to K-Town.
My dad would always say everybody says the South Side is the worst, part of Chicago, but he's like the West Side is by far the worst.
Yep.
I've lived on the South Side. Interesting that you brought that up because I've been on both sides, lived on both sides. Interesting. I was able to talk to more people on public transportation than I was on the West Side. I was here. See, I have a skewed view because I was on the West Side during the looting and rioting. And I also am infamously known for having multiple baby mamas. My youngest child's mama is from Romania. She was 100% taught from Shonie. She's the big booty white girl that was living on the South Side in the middle of the black neighborhood. And she walked around like she was 10 feet tall, bulletproof, and you can't touch this. Dun, 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 dun. Hammer time. Well, I had to get it. We spent 1 year over there. And because I was on a main artery, Ashland Avenue, 7734 South Ashland, I didn't get to see much. She pretty much, for lack of better terms, was almost like a prisoner in the apartment because there was no parks over there. She found a couple where she would walk over there with the baby. I have a 3-year-old, 48 years old, with a 3-year-old. My oldest is 27. She has a daughter that's 1.5. I have a 19 and a 15-year-old and a 3-year-old girl. Right, right. So the South Side can be nutty, but I pretty much stayed away from it because I'm very programmable, and I can tell you stuff that, for instance, that what Tony showed me years ago, even weightlifting, this stuff he showed me, like those how to lean back on a wall doing bicep curls, things like that. I wonder if Tony remembers showing me. We was at Clayton College when he showed me that. That shit, ow.
Yeah.
But the West Side, you know, I've seen shootings on both sides. I almost had to crush my neighbor because my daughter's mother. Oh, but the thing is, that's my daughter's mother and my baby. And one day she got into it with some old weird ass church member. You know, them type of bootleg ass churches. You wonder what they really doing. Women were dressed in black in the summer, like them long ass gowns and shit. No joke, no joke. It looked like a witch's outfit, and it's nowhere near October 31st. And so Legia, like the new generation of people, they pull their cell phone out and start recording. But the thing was that the she was backing up, and the woman got between her and our baby. And she showed me the whole thing on video. I said, I don't give a damn what goes down. You never back down. You never retreat ground and never let our daughter get between you and another adult. I said, I wouldn't have gave a damn if I was there. You don't back down. Or you take the baby and you get her out of there. Then I clean house. And even she was like, you always act like you can do. I said, yes, I can. I'm highly proficient at extricating and eliminating threats. I said, that's what I did in the Marines. And she's like, you always talk like you. I was like, fellas, y'all do get it, right?
All the way, man.
I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I was not special forces. No, I was not a Navy SEAL. But there are people like me that do stuff and can do stuff that the average person would not believe is real. I'm like, yeah. And so I said, no, let me. When she got into it with our down the hall neighbor, I was worried because I'm the guy who has to go out and hunt money. I told the landlord, it's been wonderful. Thank you very much. We're leaving tomorrow. She even looked at me like, tomorrow, before the sun came up. They were out of the apartment. I had another apartment already secured. That day, that night, they were moved. Like I said, I can't not take that risk because over something she did and said, and during the whole George Floyd thing, people were cooped up in the house with COVID. This was the perfect storm for me to have to eliminate the threat. And I was like, I'd rather not have to try to disappear. We wouldn't be doing this interview. Where's Shonie Carter? Shonie might be in Bora Bora because they have no extradition laws. Because even the guy made a threat towards me. I said, dude, I will drag your ass up and down this hallway and the body will disappear in the building. I said, I will have you hidden in this building, duct taped and everything, unconscious. So I got us out of there. Back to MMA and underground fighting.
So Shoni, with the underground fights, was
Yeah.
there time limits? Was there
Yeah.
rules? What was that like?
No, it was no time limits. No. That's why I laugh. When they gave out that bad motherfucker belt to Jorge Masvidal, I said, "Ooh, do I get one too? Can I get mine? You know, after the fact." Remember I told you I fought 6 guys?
Yeah.
That altercation lasted about 45 minutes. And they were playing tag team. So if I'm piecing you up and I body slam you, because see, you know Shonie Carter. Tony knows Shonie from throwing people. If you notice, I don't have cauliflower ear. I don't shoot
Wow,
legs.
that's
I've never.
impressive.
I throw people. That's what I do. That's my thing. I'm not the biggest guy on submissions. You get anywhere near me, you grab me. I have a policy. I I touch what touches me, and that's why I tell people when I coach them. I said, you touch with what touches you. Impose your will upon them as you may. And I figured one of the best ways is to impose my will on somebody. You get lippy with me, I grab and throw. I am not Steven Seagal. I ain't nothing pretty about it. I know I have multiple black belts, but my thing is throwing and grappling, throwing. It hurts. Yeah, it builds character. In an altercation, underground fight, when you throw when you chuck somebody by the ass, whether it's a ring on the floor, they are fucked. And so I cannot tell you how many times in the streets of Chicago I have thrown people. I don't punch. I'm sick of breaking. I've always didn't like breaking my hand. 29 dislocations and breaks. I will grab and throw. And people say, "Oh, you're just gonna tell me can't nobody stop you from throwing them?" I said, "I guarantee you, there's about an 87.3% chance you get into it with me, you get loud, let me make a big hand movement, stand over me within that 74 inch and a half inch reach of mine. You're getting thrown. It ain't if when it's going down like the Lusitania or the Titanic. You're getting thrown on concrete." And I might punch you in the balls, which that's what happened last time. Well, he started it. But anyway, yeah. Sometimes I laugh at myself because I have to. Can't laugh at yourself. Why not?
So
But
did they make you wear gloves in those underground fights, or was it barehanded?
it was crazy because the first one was bare knuckle, and that one was like 30 something minutes long, and it was a bunch of whiffing and missing. A lot of people don't realize, and this was in the early stages of my career. I never realized how hard it is to hit somebody bare knuckle if somebody's trained a little bit. And being a wrestler, it was not my most proficient technical ability. Like I said, I was a throw you guy. And after I think I got a good lick in, he got a good lick in on me, and they stopped the fight. No bullshit. They stopped the fight at the 30-something minute mark. And the reason why I know, for some reason I remember looking at the clock. The club closed at 4 a.m. The lights come on automatically. The owner's in the club. He's sitting ringside. The lights come on at 4 o'clock exactly. That means the club got to shut down because the sun is starting to come up and people are starting to walk down the street. After that week, we started wearing them damned those Bruce Lee gloves, and I hated them. Ugh, I hated them. Those big foo-foo gloves with the first generation of MMA glove. And then, of course, who was that? Owano had the glove. I actually sold my gloves from the UFC to a guy. He has them. He bought them for $600. And then they had the Do you remember the Harbinger glove with the bar in the middle? It was leather. Tony got to remember that.
Yeah, I remember those. Yep.
Yeah, it was gold lettering on the top of the Harbinger or Harbinger. And they didn't even want to let me wear them. I was like, "Oh, come on, quit." Some guys would come in and say they would insist on bare knuckle. Of course, it went bad because at this time I was already a black belt in karate under Eddie Yoshimura, the old school karate guy. So that was when I learned how to throw leg kicks and punching and not punching a lot, but when I hit you, I was trying to break you or break my hand. So yeah, you had a mixture because people would someday would want to do kickboxing, some want to do just straight wrestling. And like I said, there were guys that I know they could have walked in their door and would have been, oh shit. Literally, oh shit. When they moved the clubs to they moved the fights to Ashland and Armitage. I remember one night they brought old school armbar hunter Fabiano Iha from the UFC. He came in the club. He wanted to fight. I said, Fabiano, if you don't sit your punk ass down, oh, sure, my friend. You know how the Brazilians do. I said, sit your ass down. You get your monkey ass up in that ring, I'm gonna kick you in the balls. We ain't fighting for this little pussy ass $250 to $1,000. I said, no, 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 that's not how it's going down. We don't lowball. So I didn't let him fight.
Was there anything that was barred, like groin strikes or eye gouging, or was everything pretty much legal in that?
Well, let me think. I did the 6-on-1. We did a 2 versus 4 fight.
It's almost like pro wrestling.
Yeah.
6-on-1.
Yeah. But see, the thing was, okay, let's say if Tony and I were at Triton College that day, working out, and Tony was showing me that funky guard pass, right? These guys didn't know about that. So if I took somebody down, I'm like, damn it, Tony, I couldn't do it because they don't know how to put their legs around my waist. Some bitch. And not to mention, I was 4th in the nation. I was, okay, at that time, I was only 4th in the nation in junior college wrestling. Right. That had been, like, that was after my 2 times I was on 2 world teams for Greco-Roman and freestyle wrestling. So you get your little hot ass up there with your little high school wrestling pedigree. That's a you problem. So you couldn't even employ your guard or try to get my back. So it was really nutty because Pat Militich was 4 hours away. You have to imagine mid to late 90s. Let's say that's you. Dad got the hot spot over on the west side. You catch wind. You got a chance to go make $5,000 on a night. What you doing? Dun, 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 dun. You going up there. I'm going to get 5 stacks. You gotta fight this little goofy ass black guy with the glasses and with the tie clip on and the tie in the ring. Because they would introduce me and I would have a shirt and tie on, and you don't know my backstory because ain't no social media. You don't know how to follow me on Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest. You don't know that guy tried out for the 96 Olympics in Greco-Roman wrestling. You get your little hot ass up in there thinking you bench press because you went to Bally's or LA Fitness Export. You did your little cardio that day. That dude was outside climbing telephone poles as a cable man, going to jujitsu on his lunch break, going to Greco-Roman practice and judo practice in different dojos. Oh, and then going to Sam Colonna boxing when he got some time. And you in what? You street tough? That's a bad rip.
A rude awakening.
Yeah. And by the way, no joke, that's the softest part of my resume. Other than, like I said, when I got a chance to work with Tony, I loved him because I was like, this is dirty wrestling.
Yeah, right. I miss those days, man. But you were always like the coolest dude, and you had the heart, and you've been there. You and I had a similar background. Mine in Cleveland, yours here. Friggin' It was cool, but man. Hey, listen, I got to do this though. Let me just interrupt. You guys keep the show going. I've got to go. I got to take my mom now, so I got to get her out of here. Shonie, let's keep in touch, man. Yes. I want to meet up with you. I'll have to come to Chicago, and we'll have to hook up and just hang out.
Yeah, because you know what? I want to talk to you because I was thinking because I did the pancreation thing over in Greece, but I've also got ranked in pancreation by Craig Pumphrey. Pancreation and what you do are very similar. And I got this seminar coming up. I want to see if I can start working with you and Craig. And because the stuff we do and know, they don't, these booty scooters, ugh.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that for sure because I trained a guy and he won the world pancration years ago. So, but I've got to get her out of here by 10:30. It's already almost 20 after. So I've got a boot scoot. But you guys, I love you. Shoney, we're gonna hook up. Joe and Nico, I will see you guys next week. So keep in touch, Shoney, and you guys keep in touch, okay?
All right,
All
sounds
right,
good.
Tom.
Man, love you. Good to see you, Shoney. You look better than ever, man.
Hey, thanks. You
All right.
too.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
We should call this the Shonie show now. Tony's gone.
So Shoney, what's your secret to staying young and injury free? I mean, it's most guys seem like they're just totally beat up after a few years of fighting, and you seem to never age. I mean, what's your secret?
Literally, I'm staying in the gym, and I'm a personal trainer, and well, literally I travel like all over the city. I mean, right now I'm at my buddy George's house. He's a Chicago cop, and I love him to death. He's the guy who actually got me in this business. When I was wrestling at the Art Craft Memorial Tournament at Triton College, and I met Bob, and I literally speeding ahead, like I said, all the way up to COVID. Don't get me started. I okay, I'm gonna say it 'cause I don't know how to edit. I really don't. I'm not good at editing. So over the years, I have taken so many amino acids and and the blood doping stuff that you can buy over the counter called Oxydrene, Oxydrene. And years ago, I tell people, honest to God, I try to tell everybody that black don't crack, son, unless you smoke crack. But but I spent a life working out, and it's not like I'm on some anti-aging formula, which I will be open to suggestion if anybody has any want to let me test out. I will use stem cell. If I grow a horn on my head, I don't care. I'll be a big ass chocolate unicorn. I don't give a shit. But I didn't drink a lot. I haven't smoked weed, but the funny part, I've never bought for myself. My daughter's mother, yes, but essentially for me, no. People, it's like if you have it, you offer me some, I'll take a hit or two if I feel like it. But the thing is, I don't do it so much. Like I give credit to what it is. Where's that CBD stuff? I'm gonna put it in my gym bag.
Yeah, I think CBD is good stuff.
Right.
Yeah, we're trying to get Tony to take it to help with his sleep, man. It helps chill you out.
I think it helps a lot with pain too.
Melatonin, but I'm not against it.
So how about injuries, Shoney? What do you do for aches and pains and injuries?
Right now, like I'm injured, so I actually have a pulled. I don't know if it's my psoas or my iliacus, or an abductor. I literally, like, basically a pulled groin, and it is wiser, older, Shoney knows better. To do something.
So do you find yourself training with lesser intensity now than you did before?
Here's the thing. I don't do cardio anymore unless there's a contract signed. Like I said, I'm doing seminars. I've done 2 seminars. And like I have one coming up in Fairbury, Illinois, so I don't need to do cardio.
So you focus on strength training and technique.
Well, yeah, because like also this whole funk is messed up, and it's like it tore me up because even if I'm training people, it's like I'm not training, and it's crazy because I want to work out. I want to work out. But my training partners are all old now. I mean, one of my training partners who I fought at the first Pancration U.S. Nationals in the finals, we pulled off a hat trick, and he made it to the finals coming even when Lionsden was there and other gym like the top gyms across the country were there. I smoked my way to the finals. Well, he's now fat. He's a Cook County Sheriff Correctional Officer. My training partner, he's a Chicago cop here. He's 262 pounds. I used to be bigger than him. Now, by my standard, I'm fat. I'm not fighting 170 or 185 anymore. I might be 210, 215. He's 262. And we were fighting 170 together. He damn near gained 100 pounds as a cop. He's a he's a dual black belt in jiu-jitsu. He has a black belt from Bob Shermer and a black belt from Christian Uflacher, a Brazilian. His brother, Nick, who was smaller than both of us, outweighs us. He's damn near if he might be 300 pounds. He's a Chicago cop. And I tell my homies, I'm like, man, well, can we just work out? I'm sitting in y'all house. And they don't really, want to do it. And it bugs me because I'm scared to work out. Like, I'm not afraid of germs because, well, that whole COVID thing pisses me off. But I ain't gonna get into that yet.
Yeah,
It's
me
like,
too.
yeah, I make masks. No bullshit. I've actually I started joking about selling masks. And wait a minute, I gotta show you some of these. This is hilarious because I'm an onion. I have layers. This is my
You got multiple talents, Shoni.
dude.
Oh
This
wow,
right.
that's
That there.
pretty cool.
Right. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's another one. And
Nice.
get the bag out the way. I sold two of them. I did one for Brazil, and that's one other one. I'm supposed to do an Optimus Prime for this kid, but his dad forgot to give me the mask. And I'm laying these stones by hand, stone by stone.
Yeah, that seems pretty intricate.
Oh my God!
That's not a simple mask.
No, no. Because I was over at the restaurant where it's a Mexican restaurant, and they have that. Usually, a lot of the traditional, authentic Mexican restaurants have that big ass sunburst with the mural inside of it. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, they were like, "Can you do this?" I'm like, "Y'all," I said, "No." Yes, I can, but y'all ain't gonna pay me what it's gonna cost to do that. And it's like almost 3.5, 4 feet in diameter. I said, and then ordering stones, that's a pile of stones that was nowhere near enough. Nowhere near enough. I would need boxes of stones. But, as far as fighting, and I was not really supposed to be a fighter. I mean, it's hard to say that considering I have 27 title belts, but I was on a different path. I was trying to end up working at Argonne Laboratories, and I wanted to do art. I wanted to be a scientist, and of course, life has its own decision on what you're gonna be doing. But
So when did you get involved with martial arts as a kid?
I was actually okay. I started off as a high school wrestler. It was not until college. That was with George. and I met Bob Sherman at the Artcraft wrestling tournament, and he was talking about jujitsu. I said, man, does that shit really work? I didn't know Bob was a wrestler. He tried to put me in a wrist lock. I hit him with an arm drag right there in the bleachers. He re-drugged me after I dragged him. So it almost looked like wrestling kung fu. It was a you see the master going with the young one.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we were doing in the locker. And Harry McGee like, Marion, get your ass over here. Leave that shit alone. I'm like, yes, I gotta go. And I actually won the Artcraft Memorial Tournament. It was the tournament MVP. And from there, I was fourth in the nation. But I never forgot about George because, ironically, high school, we were rivals. He wrestled at Lions Township. I wrestled at Proviso East. And I was the spoiler because their guy had beaten our two guys, but their guy had never wrestled me. And I was always like this James Bond type. And what I mean by that is I literally would go to LT during the summer because I knew they were a good high school. They would have seminars. I worked out with an Olympic wrestler from Bulgaria, one of them European countries. I don't think it was Bulgaria. That's a different story. Anyway, he was showing me a Russian tool. Oh, he was Russian. That's right. Sergei Beloglazov, that was his name. And he was showing me all the stuff that they were learning because I was there. And so they didn't know who I was. I put on the registration slip, Shonie. They knew who Miriam Bickham was, but nobody knew Shonie. So basically, I am on enemy territory infiltrating.
You're like a secret agent.
Yeah, I'm the secret agent.
You're like the Jason Bourne of MMA.
Literally. And so I laughed about it. I came back showing Proviso these guys what I learned. Even my coach was like, that was not cool of you. I'm like, what? Learning? I said, one day, I always thought about it like this. One day, we're not going to be at Proviso East High School. I'm going to be in life. I may be wrestling at a college. I may be on the street. The enemy is foreign or domestic. I'm not worried about the high school level. I'm learning from my enemy to defeat my enemy. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. And that's what I did. And I still know that stuff to this day. Learn from the enemy so that you learn his ways so that you may not be vanquished by him. Or if you do not know your enemy's ways, as well as you know yourself, before combat, you should run. Or die foolishly. Sun Tzu, Art of War. That's what they keep study videos now on the upcoming opponents. They drill what they do.
I think some of that your Eastern European wrestling and the Russians is really impressive. I know I went to the Chicago Wrestling Club, and most of those guys are all from those areas, Eastern Europe, Bulgaria, former Soviet countries. And man, those guys are pretty badass. And those techniques, I've never even seen anything like it.
It's their job. And the government pays them to do their job. And when because I went overseas and I worked out, not with Sergey, I worked out with I was in Budapest, Hungary. I did go to Bulgaria too, but I worked out with them too. But in Budapest, Hungary, I worked out with Attila Repka. He had beat our guy, Rodney Smith. Rodney won the bronze medal. Attila won the gold. And the crazy part is that nobody has scored on him in years. Well, we were in practice. Even in practice, nobody hardly ever scored on him. I did. They stopped practice. No bullshit. They cleared the mats, and we had a wrestling match. He whooped my ass all around that mat. He didn't pin me. I wouldn't let him pin me. And I may have even scored a tilt on him. I don't know. But anyway, that was there with Gene Mills, Mike MacArthur. Yeah, Gene Mills and Mike MacArthur. Literally, he took me off the mat with him, and I never forget this as long as I live. He had he was a gold medalist at the Barcelona games. He walked over to his locker, and he made me close my eyes. And I closed my eyes, and I'm like, "What's going on?" Because he took me under his wing for that summer. He opened the lockers. You hear it with your eyes closed. And I heard something banging around, but I didn't know what it was. Luckily, I opened my eyes. He was about to hang his Olympic gold medal around my neck.
Wow.
I stopped him. I'm like, no, 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 no. Even they knew what that meant. And they were like, Shonie. I'm like, what? And the coach, his coach, they were saying something in Hungarian. And he was better. They were going back and forth, not real mean, but something was intense. And I said, and then he said, do you know what he's saying? I said, I'm from the west side of Chicago. I don't speak Hungarian. I ain't never heard of y'all till I got here. I ain't seen y'all till I got here. And everybody's like, they started clapping. I'm like, what? You like, what? He was going to give me his gold medal. I was like, no, you earned it. Let me get my own. Joseph Goodman. I never forget that old man. He was an old man then. I'm sure he's dead now. If he ain't, damn, they durable in Europe. Because I'm 48 now. Literally, they took me under their wing. Joseph Goodman started crying. He does like this 1 minute, basically. He goes in a little office, little dirty ass office. He comes back. And then he gave me a little bronze little thing. I don't know what it was. I know what it is now. You want to hear something hilarious?
What's that?
This is hilarious. I, in my possession, have an order of linen.
An order of lineage?
Linen.
Oh,
like,
linen.
Linen. Like the dictator Lenin. I actually have that. And when I was in college, I got a scholarship, obviously. Whoa, wait a minute. The phone dropped. Everybody was like, where in the hell? Because when I was in college, I used to play with it all the time. Not quite really getting the idea of what I had. I was in Spanish class, more funny shit just to hear Shonie in college for the first time ever. And La Profesora got sick of me flipping that big ass coin and playing with it. And one time it flipped and fell and she picked it up. I'm keeping this until after class. I'm like, come on! And then she looked at it, and she's a professor at a college. She's like, I talked to you after class. I'm like, okay. Can I get my coin back? Where did you get these? I'm like, well, I was overseas wrestling for the United States, and I was working out the Olympic gold medalist in Budapest, Hungary, and I almost beat him in a wrestling match in college on practice, and they tried to give me the Olympic gold medal, and I wouldn't take it, and so they gave me this medal. I don't know what it is. She says, un momento. I'm like, what? ¿Qué? ¿Qué quieren decir? And she just shook, just the Portuguese, she just shakes her head. She walks away with my medal. I'm like, where the hell you going? But she was that hot grandma. You know the hot grandma with the booty, and she go work out, and she lets you know that she work out. Well, she was from Portugal, teaching Spanish. Strange story. So She comes back with this white guy. I'm like, yeah, what's up? In the class, and everybody was like, Shonie, you in trouble? No, I don't know. I ain't did shit. The guy comes in and says, where'd you get this? She'll tell you, I just told her the story. I don't like repeating myself.
Right.
So I had to repeat myself. Blah, 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 blah. Are you trying to tell me? Yeah. Where you from? West Side Chicago. Who are you? I'm on the wrestling team here, trying to get a class to pass to stay eligible. And so you took Spanish as an elective to stay eligible. Yeah. And they were like, you took Spanish from a Portuguese speaking woman, and she was real strict, you know. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm a U.S. Marine. Of course, everybody in the class, he looks at me, he's like, okay, you're, and this is a Christian college. Okay, now damn it, you're lying. I'm like, lying about what? You're a Marine that wrestled for the United States and you went overseas and you have an Order of Lenin. Even I know who Lenin was. I'm like, wait, what? Order of Lenin? No, it's a damn it's a bronze medal. Because it's all in this funny language. I don't read that language. So they're like, and you're a Marine. No bullshit. I have I'm that guy you laugh at in college. I have a blazer on with a shirt and collar, right, in class. Why? What did I say I was? A Marine. I'm from the hood, trying to escape, trying to get me an education. I have a blazer on. I go, this is a combat action 45. This is my Bravo pager. In case this thing goes off, I have to leave. Everybody goes, oh my God. I'm like, relax. Not an domestic. So I put it away. My Bravo pager was always, on vibrate. So you don't know. And it was like, whoa. Who are you? This Coach Aaliyah, that was the coach, Don Aaliyah. He's like, do they know all this about you? I guess he will today. In fact, I actually, in college, you're supposed to have a roommate, a dorm roommate. I wouldn't have a dorm roommate because of the gun and the pager in the room. I don't trust you. You don't, hell no. So I paid the extra $500 or whatever it was for the year. I forget, back then it was real cheap. Was it 500 for the year? No, it was 500 extra for the semester. That's what it was. So I'm on the GI Bill. I don't need no. What do I need? I'm full scholarship with a GI Bill check. So he finds out there's a gun on campus. It's a gun in my room. Not at wrestling practice. They were like, really? They said, I said, I tell you what, I'll take it off campus. I lied. I put it in my Chevy Nova in the trunk. So yeah.
Did they end up believing your story?
Dude, and remember there was no social media.
Right.
So I was like, and they were like, people on campus like, you really are that guy? I'm like, yeah. And all I had was newspaper clippings. I wonder, hold up, wait a minute. I have a messy desk. Empty desk, empty-minded, messy desk. I got a lot going on. No bullshit. So I have stuff. I have a bunch of stuff. I have stuff from all overseas. Let me see if I can find it real fast. I remember I told you I went over to Greece.
Yeah.
My Spartan helmet.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wait a minute, where is it? Okay, hold up. Whoa! The whole damn shebang bang. I dropped my Egyptian flag. Damn it. Oh. I wonder if I can quickly find that medal. Because when people ask me and I say stuff, they're like, really, dude? I'm like, yeah, no, it's no. Like, I took the flag off from the UN vehicles. I did it. Don't ever snatch this flag off a UN vehicle, okay? You know how to. I pulled it off. These are credentials from all the fights over the years. Wow, buckle up. I found it easily. See my collector's items, my collector's Muhammad Ali trading cards. There it is.
Wow.
Right.
That's a big medal.
Yeah. And so like when I would do stuff like overseas, I always make sure I grab stuff from other countries. There's my Marine Corps belt buckle. Because people were like, you really were in the Marines? I'm like, duh. China was I got a jade pyramid. There's a bunch of goofy stuff in here. That's too much stuff. What ifs? I gotta put this shit back later. But no, so when people would ask stuff, and even by today's standards, MMA related, and they wonder why they call me Mr. International. I'm like, well, there is a reason why. You know, but I've had a really enjoyable adventure.
Yeah, you've had an action-packed life. Do you have any fights that stand out in your mind as being like some of the toughest fights you ever had?
So many. Wow. There was a guy named Dave. Okay, let's start with Dave Monet, first middleweight UFC champion who's not in the Hall of Fame. I fought him twice before the UFC. If I had had foresight, I would have taken that fight with him. The third fight, I should have took the fight with him in the UFC. When Joe Silva called me to fight him again, I didn't want to fight him anymore because we had fought twice. And both times, one time I puked after the fight, I beat him. The second fight was a draw, and we both ended up in the hospital, same room. And then,
Wow.
yeah. Let's see. There was Jorge Oliveira in the WEC where I had ventured a couple times at 205, and I knew something was coming because Dana White showed up for that fight. And Dana at the time I only had like 9 or 10 title belts. You know, I was still learning. I'm still learning. And Dana said, "Damn, how many belts you got?" I said, "Oh, this ain't that many, so I ain't done yet." I said, "You ain't gonna ever let me fight for yours, so it really don't matter." Cracking jokes and shit. So he said, "Why are you fighting this big guy?" I said, "Well, I just fought light heavyweight last month." And so I just wanted to see because he was Vanderlei Silva's sparring partner. He's like, "Are you insane? You're fighting the guy who spars with Vanderlei Silva?" I said, "I ain't scared of him. I'm getting no fuck." I said, "Brazilians ain't nothing new to me." So I fought. He beat me. He went the distance. He kicked me in the head like once or twice. He slapped slob out my mouth. And I was wondering why they called him, his nickname was Van Dam. I now know why. He was a kicking motherfucker. Well, it goes the distance. And then I talked to his coach. Oh God, I can't remember his name. It's crazy. Because I know him. I said, and I asked him, why didn't y'all? I said, y'all, it was jujitsu shit. And because, I don't have the most amount of etiquette. All the jujitsu shit y'all do. He said, no, we didn't want to go to ground with you. He literally said that. I said, what? I said, ain't he a black belt in jujitsu? Yeah, but he said, oh, Shonie, my friend, we seen you on the ground. Because that was after the Matt Serra fight. So they knew that he had placed second in Abu Dhabi. So they knew that if he couldn't submit me, Jorge didn't have a chance in hell. So it was an all stand-up fight. So literally, that was one of the three fights, and there was a guy named Kumiya Kunioku in Japan. He had his previous fight, he had TKO'd Frank Shamrock. I dropped him with a spinning back fist, but they didn't cut because he dropped to a knee, and they didn't count it as a knockdown, so they called it a draw. Then I remember I was over in Bulgaria. I fought this crazy European dude. And I didn't realize I had been working out with my opponent all week long. They set me up.
Man.
Yeah. So he had a sense of what I did. And it was a draw.
He must have been reading Sun Tzu as well.
Yeah, it was crazy. A lot of the fights, like those underground fights, they're not on my record. There are fights in my previous career outside from the UFC that are not on my record. And people have often asked me, where'd you get all these damn belts? You get a record, because I would say what the Shirt Dog record is versus what my record remotely closely is a huge disparity. Even the fights I did in Chicago, they didn't, my instructor, the promoter, never released the footage or the outcomes of the fight, winning and losing. So people don't know my pedigree, which I understand if you don't, because essentially you're new to the business. You're established in doing what you do, but when I tell people, no, it's hard for me to ascertain my record because of all of the matches I've done, all of the grappling, the wrestling, the judo, the karate, the jiu-jitsu, the MMA, Sanshao, pancration. And it's funny because people know that they remember the spinning back fist, but that was not my best spinning back fist by no stretch of the word. I'm just literally trying to get in touch with these two groups of people that have two separate groups of footage of me. There's supposed to be a documentary done on me, but the shutdown slowed everything up. So this other promoter, they're doing a documentary on the underground fight scene. Because the stuff that you see in the movies, how they talk about it,
Yeah.
not far off. I mean, like I said, the Latin nightclub stuff, you would see, like I said, you would see R. Kelly in there. You would see the celebrities when Sammy Sosa was a Chicago Cub. You would see the rappers and all the gangbangers would bet on their guy beating me. In 7 years, I was undefeated.
Wow.
Right. When the current status, I was fighting while I was in the UFC before the buyout, when Dana used to hand out the checks. And I was there with BJ Penn. Now, I remember when BJ tried to get me to smoke marijuana with him, he pulled out a giant sandwich bag like this size, right?
Dang.
And Dana was right behind him with his back turned. I'm like, bruh. The BJ Penn, people don't know his family owns the cable company in Hawaii. They own a hospital. And that's why I have the maddest respect for him, because that dude would go swimming for rocks in the bottom of the ocean, bringing them up. He didn't have to fight. He's wealthy, but he had a strong fighting spirit. These are
Shonie,
called. I'm trying to get to. I can close these. This is some old school shit, so never mind me with that. In case if I ever fight again.
yeah, I remember those old school grippers.
Tony
Yeah,
loves those grippers, man. Tony uses them all the time, or at least he used to. He was big on grip strength.
yeah. I'm trying to develop my. So I'm 48. We're on 49 in May. So like I said, I'm a grandfather. Granddad is gonna be. I literally have the fat black suspenders. I think they hung up under my jacket. I have the black slacks, the black chanclas with the white socks. I'm about a brand new fedora. So when the boys show up at the door for my daughter or granddaughter, I'm gonna shake their hand real hard. Cause these new kids, they these new boys, for lack of better words, they're a bunch of punk bitches. And I hate to say it, but let's keep it 100. They pull out apps to fix a flat tire. And these new adults, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, almost, damn it. So I want to be the tough old granddad. I'm gonna start bench pressing and bicep curling and lat pulling and squatting and deadlifting, and I'm gonna do 1 mile of cardio. That's all I need. 1 mile of cardio. So my daughters and granddaughter are 16, and some boy come, hi, I'm here to pick up. You ain't here to pick up shit or take out the garbage. Go pick up the garbage cans. They're around the back. Go get the garbage can, bring them to the front. Come on in, boy. Come here. Shake my hand. Look me in the eye when you do it. Say it from your chest. What your name is, boy. I'm gonna do that to him. I'm gonna mess with him. I'm gonna wear suspenders with a black belt with my stripes on it. And I'm wearing some black slacks with pleats. New kids don't wear pants with pleats. I'm gonna have pleats and cuffs with my slippers. I'm silly. Big grief.
Shoni, do you think you're the first one to introduce the spinning back fist to like mainstream MMA?
Unless somebody proves me wrong, I know I am. And it was a trip because training for that fight, I did not do any grappling. I was with an Italian boxing coach who was a conditioning coach, and he did a little karate. And he's the one who showed it to me. And because I saw an old school guy, Manson Gibson, throw that technique, and I'd never seen that before. Most people had. This is in the mid to late 90s. I seen him knock a guy out with it. And then as I watch martial art movies again, you start to see it again in modern martial arts. I'm talking about like with Scott Atkins and then what's the other one's name? Not Michael Jai. I know Michael Jai White, but Donnie Yen. You see it now. You see it in the old school martial art films. But Matt Serra was not the first guy I hit that with. It was just that I was the first guy to use a karate technique versus a jiu-jitsu specialist. And that's actually, there's 3 levels of roundhouse kicks. Chudama Washigeri, Gedama Washigeri, no, Chudan, Judan, Gedan. Chudan, Judan, Gedan. And I threw a Gedama Washigeri to Ushiro Bosekeken, the spinning rear fist. And the idea was to set him up to do it late in the fight. And, well, ironically, 9 seconds left. It was not supposed to have been that late, but a home run is a home run. Whether it's the eighth inning or the 9th inning. Bases are loaded. And this is the game 7 of the World Series. I threw Ushiro Bosekeken and scored a home run with a full count.
It's got to be one of the best knockouts ever.
I do giggle because ever since his induction to the Hall of Fame, and I'm like, wow. And not that I don't knock Matt Serra because he was a champion. It's just like when people talk about Khabib Nurmagomedov, I'll keep messing his name up. I'm gonna get beat up by him one day. You mess my name up. So what? Say Miriam Shonie Bickham III 10 times. Khabib Nurmagomedov or Nurmagomedov or Kazakhstanian killer, whatever you want to be called. I wrestled a bit before him anyway. But the spinning back fist and the whole thing, and I'm laughing like I changed the game. Khabib was 29-0. Not a goat. Not a goat. He was still young in his career. Even Michael Jordan was not undefeated. Even LeBron James was not undefeated. Kobe Bryant was not undefeated. The New York Yankees are not undefeated. The Chicago Cubs are not undefeated. Pete Rose, Pete Sampras, Serena Williams, Walter Payton, Tom Brady. The Bears beat Tom Brady. You know, I mean, but you're still Tom Brady. Mike Tyson is not undefeated. I don't consider Floyd a GOAT. Mayweather. I don't. And he's not undefeated anyway. Did you know that? He was 88-4. He was 88-4 as an amateur boxer. That's why I laughed when he had young ass Conor McGregor fighting Floyd. I'm like, dude, he beat Canelo Saul Alvarez, Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, who beat Bernard Hopkins twice. I'm like, dude, that's B-Hop. I'm
Shonie,
like,
do you think that fight was worked? You think that was legit? Like they were actually fighting for real, or do you think it was a little bit,
which one?
with Conor and Mayweather?
Can we talk? Let's start talking. Okay, let me give you a little background. Not that you've had me just say. I was in training camp with David Diaz as the southpaw, helping him get ready for Manny Pacquiao for 3.5, 4 months. I did not start getting licks in until about 2.5, 3 months in, basically towards the end of training camp. Now, that's David Diaz, who lost to Manny Pacquiao, who lost to Floyd. He brings in, Conor brought in, was that Paul Giamatti?
Paulie Malignaggi.
Malignaggi, yeah, I might get those names. Yeah, I'm bad on names. Malignaggi. Now, let's talk. Let's talk logistics. You bring in Paul Malignaggi. Who is Paul Malignaggi versus Manny Pacquiao, David Diaz? Basically, if you fighting this guy, this black guy, who was an Olympic bronze medalist, should have been a gold medalist, they robbed him of that. You don't bring in the white guy who's robotic. You bring in a Cuban, you bring in an Argentinian, you bring in a Mexican, a Puerto Rican, and a whole bunch of black guys. You don't bring one sparring partner in who is nowhere near the caliber of Canelo, Pacquiao, or Floyd. I'm like, that was such a money grab, bullshit. People fell into it over the race thing. Conor fans fell into it. I'm like, do y'all realize? Okay, no. There's another backstory. There's a few actually. There was a co-promoter that got killed in Las Vegas, execution style, when he leaked it about it being a worked fight. All right. I actually had a chance to work. I was trained also. I spent 3 months training with Roy Jones Jr.'s coach, Mario Lefrancois. Mario and me, Dean Thomas, Edwin DeWeese, Chris Lytle, and Joe Riggs. Could you imagine that training camp?
Oh, brutal.
Right. Dean Thomas was the sparring partner for Winky Wright. Chris Lights Out Loud, I think he was 17-0 with 13 knockouts as a pro boxer. That's why people wonder why Chris was able to piece people apart. I'm like, y'all don't know who Chris Lytle is. Edwin DeWeese had more fights than all of us. Joe had the third. So, I mean, nobody was a punk bitch in this training camp.
Yeah.
And literally, I was the soft ass being Shonie in that room. Literally, Mario Lefrancois could have 4 of us on one double end ball at the same damn time. When we all went our separate ways back to MMA, I was beating guys up so bad. I'm talking about Midwest Training Center. I was I would cameo with them. Literally, Literally. They told me I had to take it easy on people. I was beating up Jason Guida, Clay Guida's brother.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, I was piecing his ass apart. I was able to keep Clay Guida in check, Mr. King of Cardio. And I had to stop kicking because I was literally, Papa, I was throwing double and triple jabs, punching. You would be mad if you and me sparring, I'm playing with you. And I punch you in your damn thigh. And you would, you can do about it.
It's
I mean,
insulting.
yeah, it is. It is going to hurt. But if I'm continuously punching you in the thigh, whether it's your lead leg or you try to throw a roundhouse kick, and I will step out and throw a lead right hook to your top of your thigh as you throw a roundhouse kick at me. That was some old John Wick, Jason Bourne shit. Yeah. Or if you throw a kick and I let a kick land, I catch the kick and I punch you in the chest. That's how proficient my hands were coming out of a boxing gym and not the local shit. I'm in training camp. I would be in the ring. I actually did only one round with the guy who lost to Mike Tyson. He quit. Andrew Galata, the heavyweight. He couldn't touch me. Could not touch me. They got sick of me because I'm not gonna fight orthodox against spar with you. You 240, 50 pounds. They wanted me to. I'm like, keep up, sucker. And he was wearing boxing boots. I was wearing cross trainer gym. Do you know how embarrassing that is? Some MMA fighter gets in the ring with you with Muay Thai shorts, with calf high socks. Well, no, I used to wear ankle socks with low top gym shoes in a tank top, barring you. And I'm throwing pop, hop, pop, 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 hop, pop. I'm doing the same combination. I was jab, cross, jab, jab, cross, double or triple jabs. And you couldn't do shit about it because you ain't as fast as me. They got me out the ring, which I understood.
It's humiliating.
My point is that was a money grab. Conor McGregor had no business other than business making money.
Yeah.
Now they trying to. We remember when James Toney got his ass up in the cage with Randy Couture. It lasted all but one round. And the old adage is lions don't fight tigers and tigers don't fight lions. Now they talking about, I remember what's the one silly boy's name? Mike Perry wants to fight LeBron James. He was talking shit to Michael Jai White. I'm like, boy, if you gonna go out there, you gonna go out there talking big and bad to the biggest motherfuckers you can find. Now I know people were talking to me about, well, what happens when they take him down? LeBron James is 6'8", 240 pounds. Pimping. LeBron James got way more money than you. LeBron James gonna bring in the baddest killers that he can find to help him train. And you ain't gonna train as hard as LeBron James. LeBron James burns 24,000 calories a game playing basketball. You ain't gonna train that hard. When he was talking shit to Michael Jai White, people will say, well, he's not a real fighter, not an MMA fighter. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu and karate, old karate. He knows several martial arts. He's 51 years old. He's 255 pounds. 255 fucking pounds. Dude, when you see that dude show up in shape, not that Mike gonna do it because there's no money to be made for him.
He's got like no body fat too.
Right. Dude, he's on HGH and testosterone because they don't need no drug testing in Hollywood. They won't big muscular people. You think I'm not gonna do it when I get to if I got cast in a movie with 50 Cent in a show for Netflix called The Method. Now, what happens when you turn on Netflix with your girl and you chill and you see Shonie Carter all muscled up next to 50 Cent, looking the same damn size, and you know damn well what 50 Cent was on, and you were like, really? You think Dwayne Johnson ain't on nothing? Was Mark Wahlberg, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger,
They're all on
Randy
something.
Quaid?
Yeah,
Even
you
for
don't look like that for no reason.
right, LL Cool J, Busta Rhymes, Dr. Dre. I mean, come on, ain't no drug testing in Hollywood. Ain't no combative action competing. They want ticket sales. Why? Because the ladies go and want to go see the big pecs, and the guys want to see the muscle guys shoot up the bad guys, lift the car. What's the boy's name? The transporter. Um, Jason Statham. All of them. Where's that damn script at? You get me thinking. Is that it? Oh, there's my script. Here's my script. I got to put it back in order. It fell out of order. But just filming ain't started yet. But no, I mean, there's so much to be said about this new world of MMA. What can I say? What can I say?
How do you deal with nerves?
I guess I'm now stoic, and not because of the veteran status. I've thrown a hand grenade. I've shot really big guns. I also had a unique opportunity while in Russia. I wrestled a bear.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's why. I joked about I did it before Khabib. Well, I did it before Khabib. Yeah, and if I would have to look on here to see when was that?
Was it a baby bear?
It was smaller, but when he stood up, he was looking me in the face.
Oh man, that'd be scary.
Right. So a Homo sapien to me ain't that bad. Let me see if I can find out, because people have asked, when did you do that? And I'm like, oh. And then of course he was like, yeah, right. I said, I also ran on the Great Wall of China. And like, what? I said, yeah. And I climbed the Pyramid of Giza. Yeah. Let me see. Let me look me up. And I can tell you when I did it. All I have to do is look for the fight. First, I gotta look me up. Because even when I tell people stuff, it sounds so ridiculous. It really does.
Yeah, they should make a movie about your life.
Well, that's what they were talking about doing, which it's a trip because as I look even at this, okay, I just looked me up. This says 51-32 with 7 draws and 1 no contest. I lost to Joe Riggs because I took that fight on 16 hours notice. A bunch of the fights, I was getting older and I wasn't using anything. Let me see. Is it? What was his name? What was his name? Remy Dimitrov. Nafa was in Israel. What did I say? The Bear Wrestling match. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, does that bear show up on your record?
It should. It should, damn it. I survived. There it is. Okay, that was October October 9th, 2004.
Wow.
Right.
So what was that like? Is that a tradition of theirs? So they just put you in
No, they dared me. They challenged me. Don't dare me. I'm a U.S. Marine. I'll do it. Yeah, they said I lost, but I beat that guy's ass. There was a guy named Andrei Simonev. They didn't want me to fight him because he was in the UFC, and he was the hot Russian. I said, Yeah, he lost to Andrei Semenev. This guy I fought was only 4-2, and I beat his ass. And they didn't want me to end up fighting Semenev. Yeah, he was 34-9. Yeah, he retired in 2013, and which is a decent record. But today, 34-9. They didn't want him to fight me. He beat Luigi Ferrante. But enough about that. I now know the date of my bear wrestling match.
Hey, if people want to train with you once COVID's over, how can they get a hold of you for training?
773-698-2224. Give me a call or a text. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I tell everybody to follow me. I'm trying to get my followers up because I don't have a big giant machine with the algorithm to give me millions of followers so I can collect the damn paycheck from holding a jar of protein. I'm figuring I'm gonna get a bunch of big booby chicks and stand in front behind me holding protein. We've seen all the hot chicks on Instagram because I'm always teaching seminars. Like I have one in Fairbury, Illinois, November 9th, this month. Oh my God, what's today? Friday? Sunday? When is
Sunday the
it?
1st, yeah.
Oh my damn. That's in 2 weeks, November 14th.
So
Yeah.
where are you coaching at now, Shonie?
I coach at Apex House of Grappling. Honestly, what's cool is that I'm getting Nick Spacek, a two-time world jiu-jitsu medalist, ready for his MMA debut. He was third in the world as a blue belt, and he was second in the world as a purple belt. He's now a four-stripe brown. He's a first-degree black belt in judo. He's owner of Apex House of Grappling, and I guess I still work for the UFC gym in Yorktown, but I don't have any clients after the shutdown, and they took away my one client I had because I had to cancel one appointment with her on a Sunday. So I don't know if I'm in, you know, holding status with them or whatever. I'm not gonna quit no job, especially during the holidays. So I'm gonna literally stay with it. If they don't give me a client before then, I'm gonna still stay with them. I'll go up to the gym and I'll start aggressively attacking members about getting personal training with me. But I'm mostly at Apex House of Grappling, unless somebody has me show up to their house in their basement or their living room or their den, which I have people that actually do that. I was actually sitting there counting my client list. I have about 15 clients now. Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8. I have like 20 clients. Excuse me. So essentially, wherever they go, between seminars and personal training, I'm always looking to take on more clients. Even at Chicago Fitness Center, I've had clients there, but it's during this time of year, and with all this, it's been a huge fall off with everything.
COVID shut everything down.
They shut Chicago down again.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, we were
I
talking
work
about
around
that
there.
earlier at the beginning of the show, that bars and restaurants again.
Right. And I'm like, y'all are killing people livelihood, not lifestyle, livelihood. How do
Yeah,
you pay? How
a
do
lot
you
of
pay
the,
for a cell phone bill?
a lot
For
of
food?
these businesses, they were hanging on by a thread before the second shutdown.
Right. And then now this again.
So, Shoni, did you say you were doing seminars for pancreation
I'll
organization?
I will once things start back up. I did a seminar with them with Craig Pumphrey. We were on the first world team to go to Greece, and we beat them. And we won the gold medal together. And he's still actively teaching it. The hard part is, like, as an affiliate, I'm under the U.S. Pancreation president. So both Craig and um, Dave Sixel, I'm under them directly. I think Craig is like a seventh, and I'm a fifth degree. So I'm fully allowed to teach. Actually, on this phone that I'm doing this interview on is some of the footage from the seminar and stuff they want me to teach.
Do they have a pancration gym around Chicago, or where's it at?
Well, the Apex House of Grappling is in Countryside, 51 East Plainfield Road in Countryside. And the crazy part, I don't have my own gym. And my dad currently is mad at me about that. And I told him, I said, Dad, I actually he said, you have to start small. I said, Dad, let me teach you what small is. I said, what? 5,000 square feet, Dad? He said, smaller. I said, Dad, you can't because grappling is a moving art. So I said 5,000 square feet. You know how much 5,000 square feet of mat space cost?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I didn't count heavy bags. I didn't count the heavy bag frames, a cage, an AED, a fire extinguisher, website setup, advertising, mailers, pluggers, flyers, whatever you want to call it. He said, you don't need all that. I said, Dad, a website you need. I said, a basic standard POS system. He was like, what? I said, point of sale. Oh my God. Really? So my brother tried to chime in. You don't need all that. I'm like, I told my brother, I said, Joey, you are a mechanic. Everything is done for you. I work hard. You don't tell me. I said, dude, you did not set up the point of sale operating system. You don't have the website. You are not the commodity. You use tools to fix people's cars. These are my tools to teach. I said, I don't get rusty. I said, there's maintenance that I do. You have to keep an inventory on your equipment, your tools. I know where all my gis are. One's here, one's in my gym bag, 3 at the dojo, two at the dojo, one is in the dry cleaners getting stitched up. I said, literally, y'all don't understand the business of running a school. On-site insurance. I ain't talking about having a squat rack, a row machine, a treadmill, none of that.
It's a lot involved.
Dude, they don't get it. People don't get it.
I think most gyms are just paying their overhead but not making profit.
Especially now.
Oh, now they're below profit.
Way below. And they trying to take away the ability for people to teach or make money in the gyms in the city. So if they shut the restaurants down, they'll shut the gyms down.
Right, yeah. Well, Shonie, how do you keep your mind sharp?
Apparently I have not messaged you with Thug Life. Mafia Wars. Doing this. This one small sheet of paper has 315 stones on it. And literally, I didn't show you this mask.
Wow.
This is my COVID mask. This is what I walk around in.
Is that CDC approved?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because what I do is I put the mask on underneath it. And people are like, really, dude? I'm like, Halloween was yesterday. I said, no, for me, Halloween is every day. Buckle up. Wait a minute. Watch this. I got options. I do this. Then what is it? Then I do this.
Yeah, people would definitely stay 6 feet away, I think.
The king of COVID.
with the black leather jacket on too. Oh yeah, you. And I purposely hang the boxing gloves and MMA gloves on the bag, or I'll have my gi with the black belt with the 5 stripes, facing you.
Shoni, do you think there's any misconceptions of uh, what kind of martial art techniques would work in a real scenario?
You know, there are okay. I respect martial arts, but don't come at me with that damn taekwondo. I mean, like I said, I tell people, don't think that that shit works. A lot of people think that that shit is real. And I'm like, I have a buddy that I train. You know, it. A lot of people think that that looks cute in the competition. It looks good in the movies. Running into somebody on a demo with a knife overhead like that, like Jason or Michael Myers, that ain't real. And a lot of people get what's real misconstrued versus mythical. Even the jujitsu people, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack by this, especially when y'all put this out. The Gracies have blown a lot of smoke up people's asses about jujitsu. There are a lot of techniques and thought processes that are not real. You pull guard in a street fight, and I've seen it done, ironically, and I laughed because the outcome became very, very bad, very, very fast. And one was a friend of mine. We got into this was like the perfect storm. There was a fight night in a Mexican club sports bar, and it was a UFC. It was a UFC and a boxing. It was one of them stupid things where he had, like a UFC and like a Floyd Mayweather Pacquiao fighting at the same damn night.
Right.
So
Yeah.
one of them, and was it Canelo Mayweather? It was one where they were dueling against each other. And you get two different types of people in there: the MMA people and the boxing people. Wrigleyville, Mexican nightclub, sports bar. The karate people are there, all black belts, old school black belts. And you want to hear something hilarious? The thugs are in the club. The head instructor is a former Chicago cop, 8th degree black belt, 33 years of the Chicago police. Guess who the bouncer is? Not a bouncer, the bouncer.
You.
So I got 14 black belts in karate. One is a black belt in kung fu. One's a black belt in judo, as well as karate. One's a lawyer for the NAACP. One was an architect. One was a restaurant owner who's the kung fu guy. There's one guy from Belize who's been doing karate since for over 30 years. Pure karate, over 30 years. No. Oh, shit. 40 years. He started karate at 4. He's 44. 40-year veteran of karate. And he's 44. Knuckleheads in the club. And literally, they beefing. The one guy's beefing at the one karate guy. I'm like, guys, calm down, cool out. Fuck you. I'm like, no, I'm into women. But that's how I am. And my buddy, instead of letting me deal with it, why you being an asshole? I'm like, oh.
There it goes.
Pop goes the weasel. Before I knew it, literally, the fight breaks out. Them two. I get them two out the club, ironically. his boys walk out thinking they're gonna jump on him. You know, sports bars have those windows, those bay door windows.
Yeah.
The karate guys came out through windows and doors. These are grown ass men. You heard me say NAACP lawyer, cops, paramedics. Like they actually have careers and they just happen to be bone crushers. Oh, then there's me, the bone crusher, who's trying to keep the peace. Man, did you ever see Ong Bak, the Thai warrior?
I've heard of it. I never seen the movie.
Sure, that's a fun one.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk to you. You remember you remember the crazy white boy Mad Dog?
Right. Sure. He was always breaking stuff everywhere. Right.
We have a Mad Dog. His name, I ain't gonna throw his last name. His name is Wayne. No, that was Pat. That was Pat. No, let me take that back. Not Mad Dog. Pat is original Street Fighter. Guile. The blonde hair with the crazy blue eyes. Guile. And so you get, and Guile happens to be the cousin of Mad Dog because Guile lived and trained in Thailand.
Sounds like a rough club.
You see where this is going? Real motherfuckers about to go for thugs. And these guys have no fuck to give except for the cop because he's on the job. He throws his hood on and he fopped the guy and then walked away. He's 6'3", 260 pounds. 8th degree black belt, old school karate. You know how well that punch went for that guy who got hit in the face. Chris is the 145, 155 pound Belizean vegetarian who can do a jump spinning back kick like Michael Jordan doing a layup. Okay. You see how bad this got. Dean, I almost said his last name. Dean studied judo in Japan.
Wow.
He was the guy who pulled the guard, by the way. And I'm sitting there like, and of course at the sports bar, what comes out in dozens? Smartphones, people filming. Literally, it got so bad. When you ever remember that song? When the bodies hit the floor. When the bodies hit the floor. Hey! You remember that song? Bodies hit the sidewalk so fast, so violent. It was blood on the side. The other clubs could not believe what they were seeing. It was a massacre, like the massacre at the Alamo. It was bad. It was bad. And he pulled guard, and he got fopped in the face, and he lost a pair of $300 Calvin Klein glasses. I'm like, oh. The other one was the one in Vegas. I saw this guy pull guard. This little slender ass black guy pull guard on this big ass Bubba Hank looking ass dude. He actually got the triangle choke. He slapped a triangle choke in a street fight. I said, wow! Because I'm in my yellow suit. I ain't about to get involved. He was like, break it up. I'm in a yellow suit. Fuck you very much. Bubba didn't give no fuck about a triangle choke. He did a Rampage Jackson. He picked him up, like stood up. I'm like, oh shit. Boom! Knock the fuck out. Luckily, his back hit more than his skull. Of course, the bicycle cops show up. And they're like, why you? I'm like, y'all know who I am. I don't break up fights. I'm off duty. Ain't nobody signing the contract for me to break up a fight. And my point is that people believe that grappling is the way to deal with a street fight. The reality is, Another story, a friend of mine, Eric Moon, he's under Carlson Gracie's senior. I trained with senior before he passed his way as well. Even Carlson, punch him in the fucking mouth. Eric Moon is a doctor, he's a surgeon. Some nurse comes running back in, some crazy guy is chasing her into the hospital, chased her into the hospital. Eric, Mr. Black Belt, grabbed the guy, tried to bear hug him. The guy luckily didn't break skin when he bit Eric in the face. And I'm like, oh, people say that jujitsu is everything. I'm like, no, because Utopia one-on-one, you might do okay. Two, you got to take into consideration there might be a weapon involved. And I ain't talking about a baseball bat, nunchucks, a garden rake. I'm talking something basic like a gun or a knife. You pull guard on somebody, they pull out a shank and jug you on the side of your kidney. You leaking slow. In the state of Illinois, that you know you cannot by law employ a rear naked choke.
I didn't know that.
It's one of the 13 laws that passed in the last election. People don't know this. It is attempted murder, and if someone was to shoot you from behind and say they were defending that person from imminent death. Before George Floyd, what did we have? New York, the black guy selling cigarettes.
Yeah, that was a joke.
Right.
Why, and my brother, he works for the police, and he brought up that subject. He said, "Why are the cops even bothering a guy for selling cigarettes? Like, why were they there in the first place?"
Right.
And he said, if somebody, I mean, they should have went hysterical about that, before the George Floyd.
Right. George actually got called on because he had a fake 20. I didn't know people counterfeited $20 bills. I thought it wasn't profitable enough. I thought they did 50s and 100s. But the thing is that the owner thought it was a fake 20. Well, before 1984, the 20 did not have a metal bar in it, or the 100, or the 50. And now, people just found out that he actually swallowed a lethal dose of fentanyl. So he could have died anyway. It was the perfect storm, the what was needed to cause all of this shit. The COVID shutdown, people are upset that they remember that was the hard part of the shutdown. Then the racist stuff. And the thing was, what bugs me is that I get it with the police and how people feel. More black folks get killed by other black folks than cops. Cops have a uniform on. I'm not saying that there aren't cops who like I knew a particular cop. I told him he was a piece of shit. He was trying to get into the academy, and I knew him from being a trainer at Export Logan Square. And he made a racist comment to this Latina, and I was like, "Damn, homie, you trying to fuck up?" And you know the type of chicks that. Okay, I do have a thing for Latinas, but you know that one that you can see walk into a room and you paying attention, and you're not the only one paying attention. That was her. And he said some off color. It wasn't like I heard the whole thing, but I was like, damn, really? But I have to let that go because I know what I am and I ain't trying to go to jail. So literally, speed forward, my buddy Chris, the 40-year veteran of karate, is a personal trainer as well, younger than me. And he's like, Shonie, I got too many clients. Can you take Phil? And you know how hard it is to turn away money from me. So I'm like, I'll try one session. My price is one session. He's like, I charge him 40. I said, that's you. I'm Shonie Carter. Fuck that. I said, let him know. Let him know. So everybody knows I'm 90 bucks an hour, which is still cheap considering what I've accomplished and who I am.
Yeah.
So he was like, why are you so expensive? I'm like, because you try to get into the police academy and I'm fucking famous, asshole. I'm already in the academy. I'm about to graduate. I said, look, I give no fuck. I said, listen, I will render you silent if you don't shut the fuck up. Because I already know you're an asshole, but you need my help. And I don't know about this. I said, yeah, I know you don't know shit. I said, you better be glad. You better be glad I'm too old. So I said, Chris, you know what? Fuck that $90. I don't want it. I said, he can't train with me. And the other people will learn like, what? Because everybody knows that I have a motto, no bullshit. It's called fuck you, pay me. It's right forward, but it's
Pretty straightforward.
straightforward. I'm a Marine. Fuck that. So literally, I didn't train him because I said I'm not gonna empower an asshole. No, I won't. And in light of all that's going on with the police and things that's going on, nobody protested when they shot up a funeral home. Nobody protested when that little baby girl got shot in the backseat of that car while her parent was in the gas station. When her when what was that little black girl's name? Hadiah Pendleton. Kadia Pendleton. You know, a little black girl lived over there where President Obama used to live. When she got killed, nobody protested. Nobody looted. I get it about how they feel. But the first thing I will tell everybody: police yourself. Take care of your family. Police your family. Take care of your family. If you can take care of your family, take care of yourself, police yourself. Then you work on the exterior. You work on pick up the garbage in front of your house. Small gestures like that. If you see your neighbor needing help, reach out and give them a hand. I wish I could be more of a visible figure in Chicago. And the reason why I giggle about it because I feel a certain way because people will line up for hours and we've seen it waiting for Michael Jordan gym shoes.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan ain't here. People will line up for Steph Curry's, LeBron James, and they'll high five the Blackhawks and the Bears, spend an enormous amount of money to go watch, but won't give one dime back to their community. Not 1 hour. Not 1 hour. And you complain about the city's this and the city ain't that, and the police is this and the police ain't that. When you know somebody has something to do with a shooting of a baby, or if you usually like throwing trash in your front yard or in your alley, if you can't stop them, at least go clean it up. And it seems demoralizing to people to say, why should I do that? Because it's the American way, ain't it? Everybody thinks that America is so great. We lead of all the countries, the G8 summit, the big 8 countries, most we can't name them. We spend more money on military and extra shit than all of the other countries combined. We lead the world in mass incarcerations, murders per capita. We're only 13th in education. We lead the world in the number of people who believe angels walk amongst us. Italy has freedom. Japan has freedom. Norway has freedom. Australia, Sweden, Canada, France, Spain, they all have freedom. We don't have this. I mean, in the cities, across our country, just here in Illinois. You want to hear something insane? Chicago is the most self-imposed segregated city in the country, if not the world.
I've heard that before.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Self-imposed segregation. It's an institutionalized mind thought of being limited to your own kind. That's why I really chose I do have other comical reasons why I missed International, but I've been blessed to see this earth for more than what people see on CNN, ESPN, or C-SPAN, NBC, ABC, or CBS, WGN, WFLD, Chicago, BET. Now there's a Black Information Network. You know, it's like we as a Homo sapien, we look to improve upon. We're the only animal on earth that will only seek to improve what that is natural. A beaver builds a dam. Lions build a den. They don't install Xfinity. Animals procreate. The Homo sapien recreates sex. Recreates sex. The act of procreation. I don't have to go biblical.
It's going against nature.
We go against nature.
Right.
We make sex toys. We have Pornhub. You don't see two gay bears, two gay lions, two lesbian octopuses, or elephants. No, it is a thought of the Homo sapien. We think that we want to be identified as a transgender. Men who can't cut the mustard, in my opinion, cut their pee-pee off, then go play with the girls. You have a right to sport. Play other men who've done the same thing. If you're 6'3", 220 pounds, and you're playing field hockey with a bunch of women, I want to see a woman who turns herself to a boy go try out for the NFL. I want to see her go try to play basketball in the NBA. Or take that 101 mile per hour fastball. You don't. You have women who excel in their sport. We've had women win state titles in wrestling against the boys. I'm not against that. I remember, true story. I'm gonna give you all 100. Midwest Training Center. You remember Fallon Fox, the transgender MMA fighter?
I'm not familiar.
Okay, Fallon used to work out.
Was a man that became a woman,
and now still dating a woman. Yeah. Well, I'm the old guy in the gym. Black tights. My shoes are Asics with lace ups. I'm wearing a tap out shirt. We're doing takedowns defense up against the wall. I told everybody, even though it's not my school, Alex knows I'm a goofball, grumpy old man. And I'm giving away my playbook. So I say, don't nobody clinch with me. Take me, you shooting on my right leg. Don't clinch with me, or you're going to get thrown. I'm the oldest athlete on the mat training. A few of them take that shit like I'm daring them. But I'm giving you my playbook. At one point, there were 3 highlight videos of me throwing people on YouTube. Yeah, in MMA. Not 1, but 3. 2 are disabled for some odd reason, but I think I got the footage somewhere on the CD. But the fact that I even have a highlight reel, period, of me throwing people, that should say something. So if I tell you, don't shoot, don't grab me, don't go up a body with me. Sure as shit, I go through my line, the middleweights, like the 155 to 185s, then the 205s on the other end. The only people that scored a takedown on me was Curtis Blades. I even took down my buddy Daniel James. He's a heavyweight. Um, I don't know if I went with Adam Matichevsky, but the other heavyweights, I was actually said, guys, stop clenching with me, you big fuckers. You ain't doing me no good. 'Cause I was scoring takedowns. So then I said, you know what? I'm sick of playing with you. I'm gonna go play with the little kids, and the little guys get mad. So I said, no, I'm not. I'm purposely going to attack them. Just goof off a little bit, do shit that people ain't did in decades. Fallon Fox walks up, and I'm not judging. You run up on me, male, female, or otherwise, I'm gonna treat you like a gladiator on the field. Yes, I did. Fallon tried to underhook me. I overhooked, and I reached across and did it's called a bar cigar, but I learned it in Europe. Let's call it knee tap here. What they call a high wire bar cigar. You tap the far leg and you walk your tightrope walk to get the Peter, like the Charlie Brown effect, where they go you tabletop them.
Yeah.
I landed on top on purpose. Yes, I did. And I'm like, you all right? You all right, dude? Come on, let me help you up. Is that how you gonna treat a girl? Ronda Rousey, one of Ronda Rousey's sparring partners came in. She almost scored a takedown. She actually clenched, and I should have known better. She actually threw me, but I was able to get my foot down. And I did what they call a Yoko Otoshi, a lateral drop. She got mad. That legit girl got mad. Get off me. Pinned you again. A pawn. So I got up and she pushed me behind. Who the hell you think you are? You see the shirt says tap out. You see my shoes are lace ups. I'm wearing black spandex. You don't know who you fucking with. I don't care who you are. You don't know who. I'm like, you just showed up to the game. And then Alex and the guys like, oh, Shonie, she gonna whoop your ass. I said, she ain't whooping Shonie's ass. It's a Mr. International getting no ass whooping. Her eyes got big. She said, what? Mr. International. Hi, I'm Shonie. You're not Shonie Carter. I'm the only motherfucker in the room wearing tap out. Really? Really? Oh my God. Oh my God. And so I pushed her. So yeah. Hi, how you like me now? You are an asshole. I would pick you up, but I don't want to be arguing who gonna pay the bill. So I'm not really answering. Just like I'm that smart ass in the room that you either love me or hate me. That's what it is. I crack jokes because I don't take it. I mean, I'll train hard, but I don't take myself that serious. I guess I'm not the guy who don't take pictures with the fans and walk away real quick. Have you ever done that? Have you ever had that happen to you?
No.
Oh God, I've seen some. I won't say who's. I won't say who that is. But there've been several UFC level fighters that have whisked off. And I'm like, those are your bosses. Go sign a fucking picture. Take some sign an autograph. Be human. They paying your paycheck. Wow, man. I got talking to you on the phone on this damn laptop. I got a crazy friend that he's getting demoted to associate. He burned his grandfather's flag from World War II. Ugh, can't stand that. I'm gonna minimize his message. So what else we got? We talked a lot today. Good grief.
Yeah, we talked about just about everything. We should probably wrap things up, though. This is a marathon session we had today because we talked like 45 minutes before you jumped on.
I know, so I was wondering. I'm like, how long have we been on? I don't mind. I'll talk to the damn batteries down on your laptop. And I got this laptop plugged in and my phone plugged in. I gotta repair a flat tire, which I'm procrastinating from.
Well, we definitely need to get you back on here, man, for sure. And maybe when you and Tony can talk at length.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be excellent, actually.
So, Shonie, do you got anything you want to advertise? Your
Yeah,
masks or
yeah. I'm selling the
whatever?
mask from $70 to $95. My masks are being sold, made by me. You'll get the autograph and the date in which it was completed. I'm training at Apex House of Grappling, the Yorktown UFC gym. Follow me on Instagram. You can call me to set up a personal training time, 773-698-2224. That's about it, because talking about the kids is, yeah. Let me know. Y'all just give me a shout, all right?
All right, will do, man. Good session, guys.
Thanks a lot, Shonie.
All right, y'all take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.